YouTube, Instagram, FaceB, we're live. We're going to give it a couple of minutes as we usually do before we get going. So allow some of you lovely people to jump on. If you're watching this on the replay, and it's not live, obviously, give me a hashtag replay so I know who watches the replays. We'll let a few people jump on. We'll give it a minute or so, and then we will get into it. We've got a couple on Instagram now. What's happening, team? One on YouTube, one on Facebook. Guys, if you can hear me and you can see me, leave me an emoji in the comments, please. Hope you're all having a great day. We're going to get into it pretty soon, so faster than we normally do. We ain't messing around on this. This is going to be a good one, but I always say they're going to be a good ones. Always say they're going to be good ones. Good ones. So, cool. Right. Let's get going, shall we? Right, we're rolling. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's happening? I hope you're having a great day, and welcome to another episode of the Type 1 Movement Podcast, the number one podcast, the number one place to be if you're a Type 1 diabetic, or I also know like parents of Type 1s, people who know and love a Type 1. Welcome, you're all welcome here. So before we get started in this episode, I do want to say please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app, as it really does help me reach more Type 1 diabetics and positively impact our community. Also, screenshot whatever device and platform you're listening to it on and give that a fucking share on your, there they go, first fucking F word and the second. Let's go, we started. Screenshot, give it a share on your Instagram stories and tag me at Type1_Tom. So this episode is going to be about how to stop avoiding things because of your diabetes. But before we get started, team, I want to share a little bit of wisdom with you guys. So recently, over the past couple of weeks, I've kind of chilled out a little bit. Like we're now in the month of July, and this is the first podcast and the first live that I've done because I go live on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook when I record these episodes. Guys, if you've not got me on YouTube, go and grab me, Type1Tom. Go and subscribe to my channel, please. A lot of content on there. Many thanks. Anyway, I've chilled out a little bit over the past couple of weeks because I felt like I really fucking needed it, right? I'm also not taking on any more clients at the time recording this till August. I do have a waiting list though, so if you do want to get in touch with me to see if I can help you better manage your diabetes, lower your average blood glucose, increase your time in target range, improve your HbA1c, because that's what we do. I set a goal this year of getting 50 Type 1s to a HbA1c of 6.5% or below. We've now got 26, so we're on track. Anyway, I'm not currently taking on any more clients, but I do have a waiting list ready to start in August. So still, you can reach out to me if you would like more information on my program or how I can help you improve your health and your diabetes and change your fucking life, because that's what we do. Many testimonials to do that. Anyway, most of the point, I was feeling a little bit like tired, lethargic, mentally drained. So I was like, you know what? I just need to take a step back in a sense. And I think this is so crucial for us as Type 1s. And I say this to my clients, quite a lot of my clients, when they join my program, they're going in hard, they're getting amazing results. And some of them might turn around and say, wow, I'm feeling a little bit tired. I'm like, right, I don't want you to burn out. So take a fucking step back. Stop thinking so much about diabetes. Yes, it's important, but sometimes, guys, we need to take a step back, because we are human at the end of the day, and we need to relax and we need to go and enjoy life. Yeah. And that's what I've kind of been doing over the past couple of weeks. And this is kind of me saying to you, look, if you are wanting to improve your blood glucose, you're going really hard in it, you're running lots of tests and you feel it's getting a little bit much, take a step back, take a chill out for a week or so, because it's like when we go busting our asses in the gym, right? We train really fucking hard. And the only time that we recover is when we're sleeping and when we're resting. And it's the same mentally as well. It's the same with our diabetes. It's the same with our health. Like, yes, it is important to go in hard at times. But if you feel like, you know what, fucking hell, it's getting a bit much, chill the fuck out, because that's the only time you're going to rest and recover. And that's super important. It's something that I've been doing recently. But anyway, let's move on and get into this episode. How to stop avoiding things because of your diabetes. Now, if you guys know my story, when I was diagnosed, I was 21 years of age. And I've been training in the gym. I've loved exercise since I was 16. But when I was diagnosed, I didn't exercise in any form. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't lift weights. I didn't do anything for 3 months. 3 months and exercise was my life. And this is because I'd just spent all this time learning about type 1 diabetes, running tests, finding out the correct background insulin because I was on MDI, pens at the time, finger pricks because there was no CGMs or Libras around then. Well, not in this country, in the UK anyway. And I spent all this time getting good control over my blood glucose levels. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to fuck it up by going exercising because I don't know what's going to happen. Little did I know how much that would actually improve my control. But that's the mindset that I was in until I had to step out my own way. So I understand what it's like avoiding certain things. That's quite a large scale avoiding exercise, but avoiding certain things because we are unsure what's going to happen to our blood glucose. Yeah. So I speak to a lot of type 1 diabetics and I hear a lot of things and I ask a lot of prompting questions, a lot of things from other type 1s that they're avoiding certain things because they're worried about their impact it's going to have on the blood glucose levels. Guys, I want to say something. Yes, there's certain things that we need to probably do and not do as type 1s, right? And there's certain things that we've got to plan ahead and stuff like that. And I understand that. But guys, at the end of the day, do you want to be lying on your fucking deathbed and think I missed out on nights out with friends, desserts, loads of different stuff because I was so worried about my diabetes and my blood glucose levels? No, you don't want to be looking back on that. Yeah. And here's just a few things. There's lots of things, but I just want to give you 4 things that I hear from other type 1s that they're avoiding because they're worried about their impact it's going to have on the blood glucose levels. The most certain one is carbohydrates. Guys, look, I've said this time and time again. I'll be straight up and blunt with you. If you are eating a low-carb diet and you don't want to, if you want to, great. But if you're just eating a low-carb diet because you think you can't manage your blood glucose when you eat carbohydrates, step out your own fucking way and learn about it. Do tests on your insulin to carb ratio. Try different types of carbs. Try mixing it with fats and proteins to slow the digestion down. There's so many things you could do. If you're eating a low-carb diet and you're happy and it's working for you, awesome. But if not, and this is one of the biggest things that I speak to type 1s, right, well, how are you looking to improve your blood glucose control? Well, I'm starting eating low carbs. I'm like, all right, okay, cool. Is it something you want to do? Well, no, not really. Why are you fucking doing it then? If you don't want to do something, why are you doing it? Yeah. Why are you doing it? And you can't just say, because when I eat carbs, I get spikes. And that's natural to get some spikes. But there's so many things we can do to help with those spikes. Pre-bolusing, having them after exercise. There's so many things you could do. So if this is you and you're eating a low-carb diet because you're worried about carbs, you're worried about getting spikes and all this, step out your own fucking way and learn about it. That's all I'm going to say on that. Another thing is alcohol. Yeah, I like a drink. A lot of people like a drink. Some people don't. And if you don't, that's your choice. Fine. But if you're worried about going on nights out and drinking alcohol because of your diabetes and how it's going to impact your glucose levels, I totally understand that. I do get it can be scary as type 1s drinking, right? But don't let that stop you from having a couple of drinks and enjoying yourself. And I also get asked by type 1s, yeah, but I'm not sure what happened with my blood glucose levels. Guys, when I had my first drink, when I was diagnosed, do you know how I found out if it would impact my levels? And this is something I preach a lot to my clients. Have whatever the alcoholic drink is you're thinking of and don't bolus for it and see what happens to your blood glucose levels. If you get a spike, you know that you're going to have to bolus for it. If not, you stay stable. Cool. Another thing I'll make you aware of as well, when we're drinking alcohol as type 1s, I could do a whole fucking episode on this. But overnight, yeah, what happens when you drink alcohol as a type 1 diabetic is it needs to be processed through your liver. Now, your liver is responsible for kicking out glucose as well, keeping your blood sugar up a little bit. Those spikes you get around exercise, when you're stressed, when you're ill, that's the glucose from your liver. But when you drink, your liver stops kicking out that glucose and it starts to process the alcohol. It's a toxin body. It's a foreign fucking body. It's like toxic in your body, isn't it? And your liver's got to process that so it stops kicking out the glucose. And that's why you'll notice if you've had a bit of a session, yeah, the day after you might experience more lows because of that. So the biggest thing I could say is be careful with your overnight levels if you're drinking. Maybe have something to eat, possibly run on the high side if you're worried about dropping. That's all I can say on that. The other thing that I hear a lot is other type 1 diabetics not wanting to eat out because they don't be able to carb count, they don't know what it's cooked in, yada, yada. Like, I understand that. And if you are eating out all the time and you're wanting to improve your blood glucose control, you're standing in your own fucking way because there's so much margin for error with it. Like, if you're eating out all the time and you're wanting to improve your blood glucose and your health, you're doing yourself a fucking huge disservice. Yeah. But if you're eating it every now and again, even like once a week, yeah, cool. Like, you need a healthy, like, level of it. But the biggest thing here is type ones. I'm not going out. I'm missing out on social occasions and that. I'm going out for meals because I don't know how to manage my blood glucose levels around it. You know what? You need to go and do it, because if you're not doing it, you're never going to learn. Another thing is type 1's avoiding desserts. I could never do this. I've got a major sweet tooth. I love my fucking desserts, my cheesecakes, my Reese's stuff. Yeah, my ice cream. I love it. And I've learned to manage my blood glucose levels with it because it's something I enjoy. I don't want to give that up. Do you know what I mean? So that's another thing. Guys, I'm going to give you like a couple of tips around this, but I do want to say, like, if there's things that you're avoiding and feel like you're missing out because of your diabetes, like, how do you expect to learn something if you don't do it? I've said to so many of my clients, like, oh, they're like, I'm not too sure what would happen if I eat this or that. I'm like, go and fucking eat it. I will say to them, go and eat that so we know what's going to happen. So we get a starting point. Yeah. If you're struggling with something, and this goes for quite a lot in life, if there's something that you're avoiding because you think it's going to be challenging or difficult, that's the shit that you need to lean into. And that's the stuff that you need to go and fucking do. Yeah. If you're avoiding nights out or eating out or carbs and stuff because you're like, I'm not too sure what happened with my blood glucose levels, how the fuck are you ever going to learn if you don't go and do it? You're never going to learn. Yeah. So here's a few tips. Like, the biggest one, if you're going doing something, is don't expect to get it right first time. Like I didn't. Like I say, my story at the start of this, when I first stepped out my own way after 3 months and I went and exercised, I think I went up to about 14, 15 moles, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why is this happening? But I went and worked out again and again and learned about it and learned it was spiking my blood glucose levels and made me need a bolus, and I did it again and again. And I wouldn't know what to do now if it wasn't for that. So don't expect to go in, start to eat carbs, drink alcohol, eat out, have desserts, all this sort of stuff if you've been avoiding, and get it right first time. It's not going to happen. The more that you do something, the better you get at it. And that's the point in this. Yeah. So when you first do these things that you're avoiding, so to speak, do it, get the data from your blood glucose, and that's going to be as a starting point. Yeah. That's going to act as a starting point. But the main thing that I want to get across from this is you can't just avoid doing things, eating certain things, doing things that you actually want to do because of your diabetes. Yeah. Because the only way that you're going to learn how to manage your blood glucose levels through certain events is by going doing that shit. Like, go and do it. That's the biggest thing that I can say to you. Yeah. And that's the best tip I can give you is do it, get the data, and use that as a starting point. That's your starting point. That's your first lesson. Yeah, that's your first lesson to start to learn things from. And it will be frustrating. Like, even I do things now and I'm like, nah, maybe I got that a bit wrong. But we're learning from it. We're all always learning as type 1s. And that's something I want to get across to all of you. Like, we're all always learning, and you'll never stop learning, because if you think you know it all, that's when something else will come and bite you in the ass and you'll be like, why the fuck did that happen? Again, it's another lesson. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing I'm going to get across on this episode, how to stop avoiding things because of your diabetes. Live your fucking life. Life's there to, do you know what I mean? Live and enjoy. Don't worry so much about, oh, what's it going to do to my blood glucose levels? Go and do it. Get the data. Use that as a starting point and assess. The more that you do something, I'm not saying fucking drink alcohol every night or eat out every night. Yeah. But if you do it once and a couple of weeks later, you're like, right, remember what happened then? Well, I'm going to use that as my first lesson. I'm going to try making a few tweaks or adjustments. That's the way it goes. Yeah. That's the thing that you've got to be aware of and that you'll be willing to do. Guys, that is it. Again, as I said at the start, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app if you got value from this episode. And this was more of a, I want you to go and fucking live your life and not be worried about eating carbs, drinking alcohol, eating out, having desserts, doing the things that you enjoy. Yeah. Just because of your diabetes, you're not going to be sure what's going to happen to your blood glucose levels. The only way that you're going to know what's going to happen is by going and doing it. Go and do it. Get the data, assess. Next time you do it, make adjustments from that. That's the best tip I can give you on that. Guys, that is it. I appreciate you listening. And until the next episode, peace. Do we have any questions? I'm going to stay on for another minute. See if anyone's got any questions. I'll have a quick flick through Instagram. No, cool. Right, team, thank you very much for watching and tuning in. Until the next live, peace.